Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Objective Viewers portion of the show. And I'm John Mauricio. This afternoon, I have one very special guest from New York City, and he is no other than the enemy of pain killer.
I like that, Joe.
And his name is no other than Dr. Ken Redcross.
Redcross, just like the American Red Cross.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you
Dr.
for having
Ken.
me, Joe. Thank you.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about alternative cure to pain. You know, a lot of people are suffering from pain.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
They are.
and these are the things that you brought some
know what?
alternative things.
You know what, Joe, I'm glad you mentioned that because it's important when you talk about what the viewers are going through as far as pain. There's 125 million Americans who spend over $300 billion a year on pills, pot, and procedures that can be potentially addicting.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought it was so important to come here with you and everyone today to really talk about the importance of some more holistic ways of healing than the things that require my prescription pad.
You know, these are close to me since my origin is from the Philippines. Okay, my grandmother, my grandfather are into alternative medicine even before the holistic thing came out. But you know, I'm glad you're here and talk about the possibility of having all this to cure their pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
What makes you start with this?
You know what happened, Joe? I was trained at Columbia in New York many moons ago, and from there I went out to California. When I went out to California, I started to meet a lot of patients who were getting better without prescriptions. So I inquired a little bit, and I found out that a lot of them were using homeopathy, acupuncture, cupping, a lot of different things that I didn't get in my training. So I started to realize that there's alternative ways of healing that are maybe a little bit safer than some of the things that I already use in Western medicine, but that at least can be a nice complement.
Well, you know, the Western medicines, well, the source of the medicine that they prescribe are mostly, it's either animal or plant origin anyway.
Very, very good point.
And at the same time, they'll charge you arm and a leg for making this thing into a pill.
Into a pill or a capsule.
They just add starch and mold it, and voila, it's $50.
It comes out as a $50 pill, and the plant was probably $5.
All right. Well, let's talk about this. What's these flowers all about?
Well, you know, I wanted to bring these flowers for really two good reasons. Number one, when patients come to see me, Joe, they usually see me for the types of pain, tends to be muscle pain, joint pain, and then headaches or head pain. Now, I brought these flowers here because when we talk about relief, when we talk about that for muscle pain, one of the better things we have is Arnica montana. So the daisies are here for two reasons. Number one, it is also called the mountain daisy. The other thing is to remind everyone out there that we want to think about healing closer to the earth with the things that we're using. So when we talk about Arnica montana, which is actually sold as Arnicare, it's important because it helps with pain, swelling, and bruising. It's a homeopathic remedy, and Arnica montana itself has been around for over 200 years, so there's a safety thing there that makes you feel comfortable when we talk about it with patients. But what makes it even better is that it comes in different formulations. I have some little capsules here. They actually come as little pellets that you put underneath your tongue. I like that, Joe, for more generalized pain. But it also comes as a cream and a gel, and those are better for more localized pain, maybe a thigh that's hurt or an arm or something that is injured. The big thing there that I love about it, it doesn't have that menthol smell. It doesn't have that medicine-y type smell, so it's easy to use without everyone kind of knowing that you're in pain.
Smell.
I didn't say the word, I just said menthol smell. But some of those over the counter aren't as good as this and aren't as effective, and once again, we're staying closer to the earth, and that's what these daisies hopefully remind everyone about.
Well, who is to blame for the pain problem?
You know, it's tough because I never ever blame the patient in this. I think it comes from us as former physicians to really understand that we have to kind of be the gatekeeper to some of these medications. Now, patients can't go home and take more than what we've prescribed now. So that's the only onus I'd put on the patient to say, you got to follow our instructions because we went to school for many, many years to be able to prescribe these correctly. But us in the medical community, it's taken a little bit of time for us to realize what was going on, and now I think we're finally getting it, and now it's a big issue.
So I blame myself for, I call it aging process.
Right. It's not your fault, Joe. Don't do it to yourself. It's not your fault.
So, what are the contributing factors to pain? I mean, what makes it?
Well, let's talk about, for instance, when I have some things over here for headaches, for instance.
Okay, let's go talk. Let's get headache.
Yeah, because most of the studies show that we all, or I should say 50% of us actually have headaches each and every year.
Right.
Headaches can end up causing disability, even depression in some cases, but how do we deal with it? Lots of times that tends to require a pill, but don't forget the stress is a big issue when you're talking about headaches, but we do have some things a little bit more on the natural side that can be beneficial. One of them tends to be feverfew. Feverfew, just like Arnica montana, is also from the daisy family. And feverfew is something that I love to talk about, especially as a preventative, to making sure that these headaches aren't recurring as much. So feverfew has some good data, and it's been around since like the biblical days, which is also interesting when you talk about healing and what we're talking about, staying closer to the earth. I also have peppermint oil and I have lavender oil over there too, because they're also very beneficial. Should you have headaches, you rub it on the back of your neck, or you actually rub it on your temples. So there are some alternatives, some things that we can use for our headaches. But headaches become a big problem when patients come into the office.
You know, one of the, for example, weeping willow. What do you get from weeping willow? Your aspirin.
Yeah, that's another good point. Salicylic acid.
Yes, there you go. And what my favorite is capsaicin.
Yeah.
Because I love hot peppers.
I saw them. I saw them growing, ladies and gentlemen. He knows how to grow peppers.
You bet. So let's talk about some of these things here.
Oh. All right, so when we're talking about muscle pain, I've already talked about my favorite relief remedy, which is Arnica montana, or Arnicare as it's sold. But I wanted everyone to see some things that you can have in your cupboard even. There's all this assortment of beautiful nuts. You see cashews, sunflower, pumpkin seeds. You can even see such things as, the almonds are here. Everything here that I have here, the sunflower seeds and the pumpkin seeds I was telling you about, all of these are wonderful sources of magnesium. Magnesium is so soothing to our muscles and important to bring in when we're talking about trying to get better. I also wanted everyone to see turmeric. Turmeric or turmeric is actually the base of Indian cuisine. It's a natural anti-inflammatory, and the other thing, it's been around for thousands of years as well. You can even put it on your food, and it also comes in a capsule form. But once again, we're staying closer to the earth, Joe, and figuring out how can we feel better without pills and capsules.
You cannot help but one bright idea. The Creator put you in the planet Earth, but He also gave you a cure for your ailment.
Yeah.
But we are not aware that the cure is around you.
Yeah.
So and I'm glad that you're here to trying to bring this thing out. The natural cure is right here.
Yeah.
Maybe in your garden, you didn't even know.
You're absolutely right. In your garden, in your cabinet, you're absolutely right. These are things that we can have in our home. And I'll let everyone know out there, it's not the same as a pill. So some of these things are not going to necessarily work right now. You're not going to be able to go out, Joe, and bite that pepper and feel better right away. But I'm going to tell you, with a little bit of this into your diet and start incorporating this into your DNA of how to feel better, believe me, it can absolutely work.
All right. Anything else that we should be talking about?
Well, the other thing is too are joint pains.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk about some of the things I brought for muscle pain, those are great. But when we talk about joint pain, we really talk about avoiding certain things. Fried food, high fructose corn syrup, sodas, things that are no-brainers, Joe. So we talk about that. But as far as our relief remedies there, we need to look at two things. Number one, we talked about the glucosamine. Glucosamine is important because it has some benefit, we feel, with cartilage. The other thing I have here is vitamin D. Now, vitamin D is important because there was a study that came out that showed that a group of people who had low vitamin D, they actually had more joint pain. So I don't know if it's necessarily a causal relationship per se, but it's something that you still need to talk to your doctor about. And there's even a group called the Organic and Natural Health Association. They have a website, thepowerofd.org, where you can actually order your own at-home test kits for vitamin D. So that's how important it's becoming. You have organizations rallying around the importance of vitamin D.
Well, you can also use the sunshine, go out and sunbake yourself and get your vitamin D.
Yep.
But sometimes it's very cloudy, like today. You gotta take this.
Yeah.
You gotta take that.
You have to.
Yeah. Anything else that we should be talking
That's
about?
it. I just want everybody to understand when we're talking about these pain syndromes, stress is an important thing. So make sure you're figuring out stress reducing techniques. I'm a meditator. Tai Chi is something else that's great. Acupuncture is wonderful. So figure out spiritual ways to also manage your pain as well.
Okay, when you go to a doctor and you want a painkiller, what sort of questions you ask first?
So the first thing you should ask your doctor, the first thing you should do is describe the typical character and nature of the pain, because that helps us to understand what may be going on, because it's important to get to the root cause. Then the other thing you should ask your doctor is, what can we use as an alternative to something that may not require your prescription pad? Now, all of us are not necessarily as versed on some of these things, but we can still go back and kind of get a little bit of education and knowledge on our own and make sure that we're asking these things, because don't forget, I always say a doctor should feel like a member of your family. So you should be able to ask those sort of questions.
Cashew. Let's talk about cashew.
Yeah.
Everybody got cashews in their house. Well, what can they do?
Well, cashews are one of those things, along with these gorgeous nuts that you see here, that guys, they have magnesium, like I stated. And magnesium is key. In fact, so key, I should actually mention here, I have this. This is Epsom salt. Epsom salt, we all know when you get pains around the body or you're working out in the yard, what do? You sit down in a bath of Epsom salt. And the reason why is, once again, we're leveraging the benefits and the properties of magnesium. So once again, these are things that we can have in our cabinet, in our cupboard, and these in our bathroom. And all of this is so simple.
And it's easily available in your farmer's market.
That's right.
Well, some pure.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that, because all of these are available. Arnicare, all these things are all available in pharmacies, Whole Foods, some grocery stores. They're easy to get. And the important thing is they work. You know, with the kids going back to school, I talked to some patients about the Arnicare, because now they're going back to school, they're starting sports. And they're starting sports where they're getting bruising and the swelling and the pain. And this is a perfect time of year to think about that sort of thing, with everyone going back to school and sports. So there's a whole bunch of things we can do.
Yeah. Where can they get in touch with you?
Oh, by all means, feel free. My website is Dr. Redcross. It's drredcross.com. And you can reach me on Twitter, which is @DrRedcross. And my Facebook is Ken Redcross MD. Please reach out. I love answering questions and meeting new friends.
All right. Again, so anything else you would like to?
Nope, that's it. Just be happy and healthy, and keep in mind that there's a spiritual aspect as well to us staying healthy and whole. And think about that whenever we're dealing with some of these pain things.
And remember, just put some flowers in your bedroom.
That's right.
Inhale, inhale, and inhale.
There you go.
And if you add some rosemary in there, it's, I guarantee you won't have that dementia.
Yeah. There's a lot, let me tell you, a lot of good stuff. There's some studies going on with curcumin or turmeric on that too. So some good stuff out there, everyone.
All right. Again, if you have some questions, please call Dr. Ken Redcross. Again,
Absolutely.
thank you very much. I can go on and on and on and on talking with you, but we have time limit here. So again, this is Joe Mauricio. Thank you for sharing your Sunday with us.
Absolutely.
And mabuhay.